Foreign trade policy. Foreign trade policy. India's foreign trade policy has conventionally been formulated for 5 years at a time. The focus of the FTP has been to provide a framework of rules and procedures for exports and imports and set of incentive for promoting exports. You can understand this statement. That is what policy meant for. The latest foreign trade policy for 2015-20 is in vogue at present to provide policy stability during the pandemic period that was extended from 2020 to 2022. The policy has been further extended till March 2023 on account of volatile global economic and geopolitical situation and currency fluctuation that itself is still continuing. Okay, itself is still continuing. In the year 2022, India signed free trade agreements with two countries. One is UAE and another one is, this is SEPA. This is, okay, Ekta agreement. The Export Preparedness Index has also been introduced to evaluate the state's potential and capacities. It will guide all stakeholders towards strengthening the export ecosystem at both national and subnational levels. Okay, Export Preparedness Index, whether how far the states are prepared to do the exports. Who will publish this? Niti Aayog in partnership with Institute of Competitiveness. Niti Aayog in partnership with the Institute of Competitiveness to identify the challenges and opportunities to enhance the effectiveness of the government policies and encourage the facilitative regulatory framework. The structure of the EPI include 4 pillars: policy, business ecosystem, export performance. These 4 parameters together will be taken into consideration while you are preparing the Export Preparedness Index. This will gives you the preparedness of the exports by the various state governments, various states. And in the first term of the Narendra Modi government, they have not believed in signing the free trade agreements. They are having lot of suspicion, but now they are understanding that without signing the free trade agreements with other country, it is very difficult for us to have a global footprint and also enhance the GDP growth. That is why we are signing. So the year 2022 has 2 major agreements. Okay, I think in Australia it is one of the successful agreement, because normally signing agreement with Australia means dumping all Australian products. But by excluding the agriculture and dairy products, we have signed that agreement. Normally they don't accept it. Without dairy products they don't accept, but somehow they have accepted. And recently also, I think 1 week back, we are signing some educational agreement. First foreign universities campus. We don't have campuses, we have collaboration, but first foreign university campus is going to be from Australia, if everything goes well. Okay, anyhow, so it's not only strategic, but we are also moving beyond the strategic aspects in Quad, Indo-Pacific protection. Apart from all these things, yes, trade agreement and other. International trade settlement in Indian rupee. You are all aware about this concept. Okay, in July 2022, the Reserve Bank of India issued a circular permitting an additional arrangement for invoicing, payment and settlement of exports and imports in Indian rupee. They have issued a circular. This particular framework involves invoicing of exports and imports in Indian rupee, market determined exchange rate between the currencies of the trading partner countries, and settlement through special rupee Vostro accounts opened with the authorized dealer banks in India. So the settlement has to be done in Indian rupee at a market exchange rate in a Vostro account opened. So what is a Vostro account? Vostro account is an account that a domestic bank holds for a foreign bank. So a foreign country's bank is having an account in India, that is vostro. If Indian bank is having the account in the foreign country, that is nostro. Okay? And that too, domestic bank holds for a foreign bank in the domestic bank's currency. In the domestic bank's currency. That means, suppose, okay, let me read and after that explain. That is, rupee, such account enable domestic banks to provide international banking service to their clients who have a global banking needs. So, India, just take Russia. The bank A, bank B. B is having account in A's bank, that is vostro account. Now, India imported something from Russia. Now, India will deposit the equivalent amount of Indian rupees in this bank. This is Indian bank, but in the account of vostro. So, Russia purchased something from India. Then Russia, in its Russian in rubles, at a market determined rate, they will deposit in bank B. So Russia deposits in bank B, India deposits in bank A. So this is when India imported something from Russia, when Russia imported something from India, the transaction between these two bank accounts will takes place later, so that it will get adjusted. Okay, this is vostro and nostro. Under this arrangement for settlement, the same thing explained. An Indian importer undertaking imports through this mechanism shall make payments in IR, which shall be credited to the special vostro account of the corresponding banks of the partner country against the invoice for the supply of goods or services from the overseas seller or supplier. Same, whatever I have explained, the same thing is written here. Indian exporter undertaking export of goods and services through this mechanism shall be paid the export proceeds in Indian rupee from the balances in the designated special vostro account of the correspondent bank of the partner country. So if at all they are doing exports and imports, the transaction will happen from that particular bank account. Suppose I will take the numbers and I will explain it to you. India imported something 1000 crore worth of money. Okay, 1000 crore. Okay, rupees. That is vostro. In Indian bank, vostro. This is nostro, Russia. Let it be 1000 crore. I don't know what is the ruble symbol. Did anyone know? Okay, this is ruble symbol. For the time being, just take. Okay, fine. Now, this money credited by the Indian in Indian bank because he has imported. This money credited by the Russian in Russian currency in Russian bank because he has imported. Now when Indian exported, then what will happen is, sometimes they will pay money in rubles in Russia, or otherwise they will deduct money from here. Okay, because if they go on depositing here, it won't serve the purpose. Somewhere it has to be withdrawn. Okay, did you understand? So suppose this is how it will happen. So they will withdraw money from here. There is no money to withdraw, then they will start deposit here. Okay, that is how it works. So the framework we just discussed, the framework could largely reduce the net demand for foreign exchange, that is the US dollar in particular, for the settlement of current account related trade flows. Okay, so it will reduce the dependency on foreign exchange, especially the dollar. So we can avoid the usage of dollar. To avoid the usage of dollar only, we have created that agreement with Russia. Next, use of Indian rupee in cross-border trade is expected to mitigate currency risk for Indian business. Always there is a currency risk. So if you import today, you have to pay one rate. If you import tomorrow, you have to pay another rate, because you don't know when currency fluctuates. And most of the time, currency of India is fluctuating not because of reasons pertaining to India, but because of America. That is why your finance minister said it is rupee strengthening, but not, it is dollar that is strengthening, but not the rupee that is weakening. But you can say it, but when you are paying, you have to pay that reduced amount only. So that can be reduced. Okay, that can be reduced. Cross-border trade expected to mitigate currency risk. Next, protection from currency volatility not only reduces the cost of doing business, but also enables better business growth, improving the chances for Indian business to grow globally. Okay, so it's not only reduce the volatility, it brings more certainty. It brings more certainty so that the businesses will grow. It also reduces the need for holding the foreign exchange reserves, making Indian economy less vulnerable to the external shocks. Promoting Indian rupee as an international currency once the rupee settlement mechanism gained traction. So today rupee is not an international currency, but just sign an agreement with 10 countries. If the 10 countries started using the rupee, let rupee get the international status, let all the people accept rupee as also a medium of exchange. So it will pave the way for that. It promote INR as the Indian rupee as the international currency once the rupee settlement mechanism gains the traction. The Indian rupee accounted for 1.6%. That means in the total international trade. If the Indian rupee turnover rises to equal the share of non-US, non-euro currencies in the global forex turnover of 4%, INR could be regarded as an international currency reflecting India's position in the global economy. Anyway, US and euro, their share is very high. You can't reach to the level of US and euro. But anyhow, even if you keep that US and euro aside, the non-US and non-euro currencies in the global turnover of 4%, then if you reach that at least 4% from your 1.6, then your currency will be considered as an international currency. So just promote it. Take it as an opportunity and promote it. Okay. So I think these two are new points for you. Remaining all are known to you. Initiatives to enhance the trade. Initiatives to enhance the trade. First one is what? Focus on agricultural products. India's agricultural exports achieved highest ever export in financial year 22, reaching 37.8 billion, and it continued perform well. Maybe that 50 includes agricultural product exports plus food processing items. Food processing, because they have yesterday clearly mentioned food processing. Here they have not talked about any food processing. So only agricultural exports achieved the highest ever export in financial year 22, reaching 37.8 billion. See how much agricultural export you are doing, how much petroleum that you are importing, almost 4 to 5 times. 4 times, okay, not 5, 4 times at least. Okay. So 37.8 billion, and it continued to perform well in financial year 23 with exports of 26.8 billion April November, backed by the effective agriculture export policy. What are the policies? Export Inspection Council. This Export Inspection Council will inspect and they will give necessary suggestions. Plantation boards, tea board, coffee board, rubber board, okay, they are all here to help the exports and find the market across the world. What is this APEDA? APEDA was asked in last year prelims, no? APEDA was asked in last year prelims whether it is a statutory body or non-statutory body. On that point they have asked. Okay, under Commerce Ministry it is a statutory body. Agriculture and Processed Food Product Export Development Authority, APEDA. So this will again devise the policies for promoting the exports of agriculture and processed food. Agriculture and processed food. For MPEDA, you are also having MPEDA, Marine Products Export Development Authority. Export facilitating measures like online issuance of certificate required for the exports. So this online issuance of certificates are very, very important. Okay. Otherwise, no, your customs and excise officers, they will make a lot of money out of it. So we are streamlining the process. You no need to wait for hours and hours, days and days together to get all these things. Okay. Next. Regular promotions were organized for agricultural products through participation in trade fairs, special events in association with the Indian missions. Okay, so wherever it is possible, just go on, we are going and participating in these fairs and special events so that other countries and other people get an exposure to the Indian products, and that is how they are importing Indian products, agricultural products. Interest equalization scheme. Interest equalization scheme. What is this scheme? This scheme was formulated to give benefit in the interest rate being charged by the banks to the exporters on their pre and post shipment rupee export credit. So you have taken a loan. Before exports you have taken a loan, and once you exported you will get the money. That money you will pay to the bank. By the time you have taken money to the bank to repay your loan, interest rate changed. You have to pay more money. Under this scheme, okay, that pre and post shipment rupee export credit, whatever the interest rate changes, we are here to compensate, you don't worry. That is what? Interest equalization scheme. Okay. Next, ROTEP, remission of duties and taxes on exported products. Whatever the taxes that you paid on the item, that will be given back it to you. That will be given back it to you. Suppose I manufactured the mobile, and on that I paid, this cost is, just assume 10,000 rupees. I paid taxes worth of 1,000 rupees. That 1,000 rupees I will get. But you should get one doubt. After GST regime, exports taxes are not exported. Did you remember? All the ITC you will get it back. You are not supposed, the tax rate on exports is 0. Then what is this remission of duties? Anyway, the taxes you paid in GST you will get. That's a different story. Apart from that, if you pay any other taxes, I'll tell you what is the tax. Suppose I manufactured the mobile here. Let it be manufactured in the state of Telangana, because Kerala is having this coastal facility, export. So Telangana, I have to export it through Bombay. So I use a vehicle to transport. When at my factory outlet, it cost is 10,000. But once it reaches to that port, it will become, let it be 10,500. Why? Because transportation cost. In the transportation cost, there is a fuel charge. Not only fuel charge, tax on fuel charge. That tax on fuel I can get, because there is a tax involved, no? Did you understand? So whatever see, for one mobile, it won't make a big difference. But when you are doing some billions and billions and dollars of value of exports, definitely it will be helpful. So now you read, the scheme seeks remission of central, state, local duties or taxes or levies at a different stage at the central, state and local level, which are incurred in the process of manufacturing and distribution of exported products, but are currently not being refunded under any other duty remission scheme. So GST, that is separate scheme, and okay, that you keep it aside. Apart from that, whatever the taxes that you paid on anything in the production process, that will be remitted. Okay, is it clear? So that you are not allowing any tax to be exported. So if your tax is not exported, your products will become cheap. Your products will become cheap. If your products will become cheap, means your competitive in the international market. But not all the goods, all the services are comes under this. Okay, don't think like India is becoming a zero tax country where we are not taxing any exports. Okay, but for some products. Okay, this is very, very important scheme. Okay, next one, Export Credit Guarantee Scheme. Export Credit Guarantee Scheme. Export Credit Guarantee Corporation supports the Indian exporters and banks by providing the export credit insurance services. ECGC provides insurance cover on the export consignment to protect exporters from the consequences of the payment risk. It also provides export credit insurance to protect the banks from losses on account of export credit given to the exporter due to the risk of insolvency or protracted default. It performs two functions. One is, suppose you are an exporter. You are an exporter. Definitely every exporter need an insurance. Otherwise you don't know what will happen to your ship. That is the reason why recently when all the G7 countries, they sit together and they decided like the petroleum that you are importing from Russia should be a minimum price of $60 per barrel. This is the thing. Now some people started thinking, okay, Russia is ready to supply at 40 and 30. But if you purchase at 40 or 35 or 30, what is the problem? The problem is this. The containers or the ships that are carrying the oil, they are having the insurance facility in Europe. The immediate question you can ask, sir, why should they have insurance in Europe or somewhere? Why can't they have in India? In India, we don't have the life insurance. Forget about insurance to the containers. Okay. So that's why there the market is prevailing high. That is why these people go and pay the premium there and take the insurance. And they said it clearly, if you don't export above 60, I don't provide the insurance to you. I don't provide the insurance to you. If something happens, you can't get any claims from me. That is why some vessels forcibly, even though they are not interested, because vessel, they don't have any specific purpose. The Indian Oil or let it be private oil companies who want to purchase oil from Russia, either they have to hire the vessels, those are having insurance either in India or Russia. Most of the vessels got insurance in European countries and they are not ready to supply it to you because the insurer said like, I don't provide the insurance to you. So that is a problem. So likewise, every exporter will have some insurance. Suppose I am exporting goods worth of, let it be $100 million. Now I will take the insurance first with the Export Credit Guarantee Corporation. If something went wrong, they will repay that insurance to me. Is it clear? That is what this ECGC will do. So ECGC provides insurance cover on the export consignment to protect the exporters from the consequences of the payment risk. Again, here there are two different type of risks are there. Suppose suddenly there is a tsunami and your ship got dipped into the water and immersed into the water, further there is a specific insurance. But if there is a payment risk, suddenly that country went into bankruptcy. So you supplied it to Sri Lanka, next day Gotabaya fled away from the country. Who has to repay? No, though there is a system, it is completely, at that time this ECGC will take care of. And ECGC will not only take care about the exporters, it will also take care about the banks. Sometimes, in majority cases, instead of taking directly from ECGC, you will take loan from the bank. Not loan, the same for your export needs and all. Now what happened? Because of your loss, the bank is also getting into losses. Now who has to save the bank? These people will save the bank. Otherwise bank will say, if you are an exporter, I don't give any credit to you. But there is a backing from the Export Credit Guarantee Corporation that if something went wrong, I am here to take care about. That is why banks are also interested to give the credit facilities. Is it clear? Online students, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next. Krishi Udan Scheme. Krishi Udan, I think yesterday also we had a mention, Krishi Udan. So Krishi Udan Scheme was launched in August 2020 on international and national routes, on both international and national routes, to assist the farmers in transporting agricultural products so that it improves their value realization. Airport Authority of India provides full waiver of landing, parking charges, terminal navigation landing charges and route navigation facility charges for Indian freighters and passengers to cargo aircraft, primarily around 25 airports focusing on northeastern hilly tribal region and 28 airports in other regions areas. So these are the different charges that you have to pay if you are having a flight. Okay. So those charges are now waived. Airport Authority of India is waiving all those charges, especially in some 25 airports in northeastern and hilly and tribal region and 28 airports in other regions. Okay, so that without much cost you can transport your agricultural produce to the foreign countries or other parts of the India. This is important again. Trade Infrastructure for Export Scheme, you call it as TICE. TICE. So the scheme provides financial assistance in the form of grant in aid, to the central or state governments owned agencies for setting up of upgradation of export infrastructure as per the guidelines. Upgradation of the, and this TICE covers lot of things. For enhancing the exports, what you must have? You must have proper facilities at the marketing and exporting facility. You must have proper lab facilities. You must have proper cold storage facility. You must have proper quality control facility. You must have proper packaging facility. And under this TICE, they can also incentivize the producer to manufacture or to produce a quality product. Do you understand? Suppose take the case of agricultural commodity. If they find something, if they want some superior quality, yes, under this you can avail the funds to get that new variety so that you can produce new variety and you can export. So TICE is a very, it covers lot areas, but simply they are setting up or for upgradation of the export infrastructure. So the main aim of this TICE is what? Enhancing the exports. For that, whatever is required, they will provide under this. Okay, very, very important. Okay. TICE. You are aware. District as export hubs. One district, one product initiative. The districts as export hubs, one district, one product initiative is aimed at targeting export promotion, manufacturing and employment generation at the grassroots level, making the states and districts meaningful stakeholders and active participants in making India an export powerhouse, thereby contributing to the Atmanirbhar mission and achieving the vision of Make in India for the world and being vocal for local. See, there is a difference between Make in India and vocal for local. And also Atmanirbhar mission. See, you must understand the difference between these three. They are not same. Anyway, you know what is Atmanirbhar. Atmanirbharata means you have to produce and you have to become a part of the global supply chain, not as an importer but as an exporter. This is Atmanirbharata. Make in India means what? Make in India means to wherever you belongs to, you please come and you produce. It is for both domestic and foreign investors. You come, you manufacture here, you create the employment, you export, you give the forex results to me, you can take your profits. That is what make in India. Vocal for local means local brands. Local brands. See, if Amazon unit has come from America and if they started a unit here and if they do know, that is benefit for us. But that is not meant for vocal for local. Local brands. So what is local product means? According to the GDP, whichever is producing in India, that is belongs to India. But it's okay, economically or financially that's correct. But morally you can't claim a foreign brand as your product. Okay, so definitely you must have your own products. That is what vocal for local. For that you need to incentivize the local producers with necessary schemes. So be careful. Be careful. Atmanirbhar mission, make in India, vocal for local. So we are on three different pillars. On the one hand, we wanted to promote our own products. On the other hand, we wanted to attract the foreign investors and whoever want. On the other hand, we wanted to become a net exporter, self-reliance. Okay, three things. Some people, when they talk about Atmanirbharta, they thought it as vocal for local. When they thought about when they heard about make in India, they thought like it is vocal for local. No, some students asked me, not students, some other people asked me, Modi is promoting only local products, that is what make in India, no? You understood make in India it in a different way. So the thing is, Indian product means the products whichever is manufacturing in India, whether it is a domestic brand or foreign brand. But we have focus on that. At the same time, we are having focus on vocal for local. So three different meanings. You have to be very careful. Okay. Next, it seeks to select, brand and promote products or services from each district of the country for enabling holistic socio-economic growth across all regions and attract investments in the district to boost manufacturing and exports. Okay, this point you can understand. India's global trade engagements. I think I have already given this information to you, but again, India has always stood for open, equitable, predictable, non-discriminatory and rule-based international trading system. This trading system will not present in the world, but anyway, you are committed to that system, which is completely ideal. Okay, so open, equitable, predictable, non-discriminatory, rule-based. So India is committed for such type of openness. Next, India consider regional trading agreements as a building blocks towards the overall objective of trade liberalization and as complementing the multilateral trading system. So there is a multilateral trading system and we also wanted to have regional trading system. Okay, regional trading groups. Next, India has also concluded 13 FTAs, 6 PTAs, preferential trade agreements. The most recent is what? UAE SEPA and Indo-Australia Economic Cooperation Trade Agreement, ECTA agreement. Further, India is presently engaged in FTA negotiations with which country? India UK FTA, India Canada SEPA and India EU FTA. India EU FTA. Everyone thought like after Rishi Sunak became the Prime Minister of UK, we will sign both India UK FTA and India EU FTA. But until and unless Rishi Sunak out of power, we don't sign all these things. Okay. Anyhow, moreover, India has also initiated action to review some of the existing FTAs like India-Singapore CECA Cooperation Agreement, India-South Korea SEPA and India-ASEAN Agreement. So we wanted to upgrade it. We want to upgrade it, review it. So now we wanted to connect more with the world. We want to connect more with the world. Current account. Now, so you have seen trade account and invisible account. Now current. What is the current account? Current account balance to GDP ratio. Current account balance in terms of billion. Okay. Quarter wise they have given. This is as a percentage of GDP. This line. For this scale is this side. For absolute number value, scale is this side. Current account last year in Q1 we are positive, in Q2 negative, Q3 negative, Q4 negative. How much this is? 15, 15 plus 25, 40, 40, 40 plus 10, 50, minus 50 plus 10, minus 40. But see this year, minus 20, minus 40, minus 60, I think you will get another 60 or 70, minus 100, okay, minus 100. So if you take as a percentage of GDP, in Q1 it is showing 2% of GDP, in Q2 it is showing 5% of GDP. Actually it should be 1 to 2% of GDP, 1 to 2% of GDP. That should be the normal range, that should be the normal range. Okay. So what is the GDP of India? Can I consider? $3 trillion. Okay, 300 billion. What is the 1-2 percentage? 1% is how much? 1%, 30, 2%, 60. So that is a permissible range. But we are going to 6% means 100, more than 100, $150 billion. Is it clear? Okay. So this is the range of current account deficit. This year it will be high. This year it will be high. And one more thing, I told you one fact that India is consistently maintaining current account deficit barring 2000, 2001, 2001, 2002, 2002, 2003. Did you remember that? When I am explaining current account. But see this, we are maintaining current account surplus for how many quarters? 2 quarters during the COVID-19. You know why? China unable to export its products. Not that India has become so export competitive country. When China is unable to export because of COVID-19, definitely we don't import. When you don't import, you will save money. Okay, it's because of that. It was a news. Next, composition of current account balance, net merchandise trade balance, net services, net transfers, net income. You know what is net merchandise trade balance? It is always negative. Am I right? It is negative. You can see that green, this first green. Okay. Second one, net services, you are all aware, positive, always positive, so this positive. Net transfers, your remittances, always positive. Okay. Net income in the sense I already told, companies, no, on their investment they will try to send the income. Suppose if a company established in India, if it is sending money out of India, it will be negative thing. But if a company anything outside India, and if they are sending their income here, that is positive. Anyway it is negative. Okay, they will bring capital, but they will take profits or something every year. Some people, they will make investment again in India only, reinvestment. Okay, so the positive things contributed to the current account positive is always services and remittances. Negative thing is merchandise and, anyway this is a small factor, don't consider, but anyway this trade account is always Q1, Q2, you can see negative and positive. Composition of net invisible, robust services and buoyant transfers. Services, transfers, income. Again they have clearly made. Income anyway negative, transfers yes positive. This is quarter wise. When it comes to the remittances, I think it costs $100 billion. So all the money that Indians are sending, we are again sending it back to import the petroleum. Okay, that is what we are doing. Anyway, you can understand, no? See, This is COVID-19 time. They have not sent much. Okay. Top remittance recipients of the world during 2022. India is highest. India is receiving highest remittances in the world. How much? $100 billion. After that, Mexico. After that, China. You can see the list. Okay. Now, capital account. Till now we discussed about current account. Now it is about capital account. Net capital account balance, capital account to GDP ratio. I think capital account we are always maintaining positive. Capital account includes, FDI, FII, loans, these things. And you are all aware like capital account is saving India. Because current account normally will maintain deficit. So it will be compensated there. That is the reason why we are able to have forex reserves. That is why we are able to have forex reserves. So our forex reserves is not an earned forex reserve, but it is a borrowed forex reserve. Either in terms of FDI or FII or any loan, we are getting net foreign exchange. Otherwise, we are not earning, no? If FDI you consider it as an earning, that is a stupid thing. FDI is not an earning. Okay, they can take it back at any time, but it's very difficult to take. Very difficult to take. You have seen now FPI what happened? Okay. So that is a positive thing. Okay, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Okay, though there is a fluctuations, but this capital account all depending on foreign countries. And that too our external debt is not that much high, no? But mostly we depending on FDI and FII. Composition of capital account balance, net foreign investment, net loans, net banking capital, net other capital. Okay, if you see in that. Okay. Net foreign direct investments. Tell me what is in the year 2000 net FDI to GDP ratio. Na? Okay. Tell me the net FDI. Net FDI means how much you are? That net. Okay. Government don't give this net number. How much we are receiving only they will give that number. But when you are dealing with the foreign exchange reserves, you must know both the things. Okay. What is the net in the last year? Tell me. 12 plus 9 plus 4 plus 14. 26, 35, 40. $40 billion net. This will be added to your reserves. In Q1 14, Q2 620. Okay. Net foreign portfolio investments. I think from Q3 onwards we are in negative. 22, 23 Q1 positive. Q2, Q3 again we enter into positive. Okay. Debt and equity, you can understand that. The instrument that are the money that is coming into debt instruments and equity instruments. So the 2022-23 Q1 is negative minus 14.3, but at least in Q2, Q3, these are provisional estimates, some positive 6.9 and 4.9. And during the 2020-21, it's highest. 2020-21 highest. What is the net outflow in the year 2021-22? 15 plus 5, 20. 20 minus 5, 15. That means minus $15 billion net outflow. Okay. Now in the 2022-23, 6 plus 4, 10, 11. 11.8, 12. 12 inflow, 14 outflow, minus 2. Okay. So investment is coming, investment is going means you people think like let it be some $1,000 billion is coming, $1,000 billion is going. No, it's a small amount. Okay. But anyhow, for economists, no, these numbers look so simple because we always talks about billions and billions. But billion is a big number, that too in terms of dollar. Okay. 1 billion is how much? 100 crores. That too 100 crore dollars. You calculate it 80,000, sorry, 8,000 crores rupees in Indian rupee. Okay. So into 18, adequacy of India's forex reserves as a percentage of annual imports. Okay. So as a percentage of annual imports, what is the adequacy of your forex reserves? What is the adequacy of your forex reserves? They have taken for Q4, Q3. That means they want to show that compared to the Q4 of 2019, that means pre-pandemic level, now the Q3 of 2022, our forex reserves are more to meet our import needs. Did you understand? That is what they want to give that. Okay. So today, compared to the pre-pandemic level, we are having the comfortable level of forex reserves to meet our own imports as a percentage. Total foreign exchange reserves including gold. What is India's as on November 2022? Am I right? You can see the other countries foreign exchange. You see the world level. What is the foreign exchange? 11,598. Did they give any number related to China? No. UK, US. Okay. Percentage of change 2021 over 2008. 140. Not consistently increasing. You have to be very careful. Decline. Here it is an increase, but here decline again increase. The exchange rate. The exchange rate of Indian rupee vis-a-vis major countries. So US dollar, pound sterling, Japanese yen, euro. Where is the dollar? Dollar. It appreciated from 73 to 82. Okay. We'll take 82. 82, 83. From 73 to 83. That is what? From January 2022 to when it comes to the pound sterling, it has appreciated from 101 or 102 to 90, but again it reached to the same level. Okay. Next, euro, it appreciated from 83 or 84 to let it be 79 and again reached to let it be 86 or 87. Japanese yen appreciated from 65 to 62 or 63. That means only rupees, when we compare it with the American dollar, rupee is depreciating. In almost all the cases, rupee appreciated, and except in one case here, this is a very temporary thing, that too in December. But otherwise, rupee either appreciated or maintained constant or reached to the January 2022 level. The only case with the United States of America that rupee has continuously depreciated. That is why finance minister said it is not the rupee that is depreciating, but it is the dollar that is appreciating. Had the rupee depreciated, rupee could have been depreciated for all other currencies also. But for all other currencies, rupee is not depreciating. For all other currencies, either it is appreciating or maintaining the constant level. For only dollar, it is depreciating. So the problem is not with the rupee, not with other countries. The problem is with the dollar. Is it clear? This is very, very important. You may get, I don't know, but if you get a question, you have to write answer. It is not the rupee that is depreciating, dollar is appreciating. Explain. You have to do cross currency analysis. Okay. Movement of the index of 6 currency and 40 currency near and rear. So this one is related Acha, they have given monthly wise. Okay, NEER. The appreciation, so the NEER value is, index is this much, it is declining. So NEER is declining means what will happen to your currency? Currency is depreciating. NEER is increasing means currency is appreciating. Okay. And REER is declining. REER is declining means export competitiveness increasing. Okay. So you can see that is 6 currency, this is 40 currency. International investment position, a reflection of India's financial soundness. International investment position, IIP. This IIP stands for, it is a statistical statement that shows a point in time the value and composition of financial assets of residents of any economy that are claims on non-resident and gold bullion reserve assets. Like, see, what are the foreign assets you have, what are the foreign liabilities that you have. It is about that. The difference between economy's external financial assets and liabilities is the economy's net IIP. So what is your foreign liabilities and what is your foreign receivables? That includes both assets, gold and everything. So the net IIP position determines whether the country is a net creditor or net debtor nation by measuring the difference between the external asset and liabilities. Okay, this will give the statistics. So that means it is not on external, it's not about forex reserves, but it includes financial assets of resident and also gold and other things. So these assets, how many assets that you have and how many assets you have a liability, the difference. Something related to the gross external debt, how much percentage as a GDP? 20, 19, 19. Okay. 1 to 5. What was the debt? Debt taken by the general government, debt taken by the central bank, debt deposits taking corporation except central bank, other sector, other financial corporation, non-financial corporation, households and non-profit institute, direct investment. So these are all, in these ways foreign investment enter into India. So what is your liability total? $602.9 billion, that is 20.3% of GDP. Long term is how much? Short term is how much? India's key external debt indicators. External debt, ratio of external debt, debt service ratio, ratio of foreign exchange reserves to the total debt, ratio of concessional debt to the total debt. Okay, just you can, external debt is how much? This is the external debt. Ratio of external debt to GDP 19.2. Debt servicing ratio, that means when it comes to your income, how much debt you have taken, that ratio. Okay. Next, ratio of foreign exchange reserves to total debt. Foreign exchange reserves to the total debt. Forex to the debt 87.3. Short term debt, long term debt 24, 21. Debt ratios, cross country comparison. I think we did this comparison already. So India is better compared to many other countries. Foreign exchange reserves as a percentage of total debt is 97. That means we are comfortable, we don't need to worry. Short term debt as a percentage of total debt as a percentage of gross national income, green. How much? We are 20, China 15 only, but Philippines 26, Russia 28, Indonesia 36, Brazil 39, Vietnam 39, Mexico 48. Okay, as a percentage of gross national income, not as a percentage of GDP. Try to remember, as a percentage of how much? As a percentage of GDP how much? Some 86%. Okay. Outlook for the external sector, cautious amidst the global headwinds. Okay, they are saying slowing global demand is weighing on India's merchandise exports. Definitely, if the global demand reduces, what will happen? You cannot export. In such case, product basket and destination diversification, which India is taking through FTA, would be useful to enhance the trade opportunities. So by signing more FTA, by diversifying destination and products, yes. India is facing competition from South Asian countries in a few of its export competitive products in the textile sector, Bangladesh and Vietnam. In textile sector, Bangladesh, Vietnam in machinery, equipment, computer, electronic products, certain agricultural products are seen to be expanding their exports globally in recent years. This is another challenge. This is another challenge. Global crude oil prices in recent softening in its prices augurs well for India's POL import. However, non-oil, non-gold imports which are growth sensitive may not witness a significant slowdown as Indian growth continue to be resilient. Petrol prices may come down, but non-petroleum products may not come down. Again, it is a problem for India. Okay, so this is a problem, and competition from the countries in some sectors in which India is having strong presence is a problem, and the slowing demand across the world is a problem. So these are the problems that India is facing. Next, India's export of services primarily contributed by software business, travel services, while remaining robust during years so far, embodies a greater degree of resilience. India is cementing its position as the top remittance receiver. So anyway, services front we are doing better, on remittances front we are doing better. So that is a positive thing. Net FDI inflows remain robust. Yes, net FDI also we are doing good, while the net FPI inflows turned positive in recent months, but we don't know what will happen again. Thus, the current account deficit would be within manageable limits and eminently financeable. So, normally we will keep current account deficit at, they are not saying like we will enter into surplus zone. We will be in a deficit. That deficit is manageable, but because of this FDI and FPI, you can finance it. There is no much problem. Above all, the forex reserves remain comfortable 562.7 billion as end of December 22, covering 9.3 months of imports. Last year, no, it was 11 months. 11 months of imports. That means if you are ready to pay the bill for imports, you can at a time pay for 11 months. But now that has reduced to 9.3 months. Anyway, you don't pay at a time, just for the efficiency we are comparing. The stock of India's external debt has been prudently managed. You are all aware, 19-20%. India's external debt vulnerability indicators are benign by international standards. So with whatever the standard, we are okay. To sum up, while India's external sector faces challenges, it is performing relatively better as compared to many of its peers, as it has inbuilt shock absorbers to weather them. So India is having an inbuilt shock absorbers. One is services sector, second one is remittances. Okay, so these are the shock absorbers and also attracting FDI and FPI. So these shock absorbers will definitely help India on external front. Okay.
Amrita IAS Academy.